Hey guys, what's up? How are you guys doing? As you can see, we changed up the scenery a little bit. We got some natural lighting coming in, which is making like the left side of my skin pop, but the right side is looking dry. Hey Rachel, how are you doing? How are you doing? And hello, if you're just coming in now, you guys can hear me. I didn't make the same mistake last week. Y'all can hear me. We're good. Just gotta make sure. Hey, Alina, welcome, welcome. Just want to make sure. Awesome. Success. That's what I'm talking about. I told you guys last week we gonna make steps. We gonna make steps to perfection. Steps to perfection. How have you guys been? How have your weeks been so far? I know you guys are gearing up for like summer break. In like 2 weeks, you guys are going to be completely free to a degree. I mean, like free of school. Hey, Rebecca. Good. I went fishing. That's awesome. Did you catch anything? Like, did you catch a big fish, a small fish, or just a fish? What did you catch? That'd be sick. I remember I went fishing once and I caught a fish like this big and I was through the roof. I was so happy. So happy. It was like that big. And like I lost my mind. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Ever. Here, let's move this over to there. Guys, we're gonna start in like 45 seconds. So, and you know, we're gonna play the video. We're gonna watch the video because technology is up right now with us. A rock bass, sunfish, and whoa, so you caught bearfish. That's crazy. You are definitely a better fisher, woman / man than me. Yeah, I probably caught like a bait fish. That's probably what I caught. And I was like, I thought I was the best person out there. But Alina, you showed me that my fishing needs an upgrade. It needs an upgrade. But guys, we are actually going to continue on learning more about Joseph, diving in a little bit deeper than what we learned this past Sunday about Joseph and about the situation that he unfortunately found himself in, not by his own doing, but because of somebody else. And Rebecca said my week was chill. I'm at my grandparents' house. That's sick. That's amazing. But we're gonna start. So I'm going to switch over to the other video now. And
so when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No, you go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? They'll never know. But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have
hey guys, so yeah, I think you guys actually watched that this Sunday. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look through and find the right video. Hopefully, I think I just found it. So Nope,
Think?
we watched that guy. Here. Sorry, guys, we're having just a little bit of difficulties. No? So, guys, we actually, sorry, but
You can just find online.
yeah, we
So
didn't
how do you know what
watch
to do?
this
when
one.
you
We
don't
watched
know
a different
what
one.
to do?
So I'm gonna switch it back over, and yeah, it looks the
Not long
same
ago, I was at the grocery store. I was just there to
because
pick up a
the
few
lady was
essential items.
introducing.
And about halfway to my car, I noticed a
But
$20 bill.
It's not. So
Now,
I'll
feel
let you
free to
guys watch
judge
it
me
now.
all you want, but these are some of the thoughts that were running through my mind. Just ignore it and leave it, because whoever dropped it is going to come back and look for it. Take it. It is your lucky day, and God gave you a special $20 bill from heaven. It's the parking lot. It's not like somebody dropped it by the register. If it was that big of a deal, they wouldn't have dropped it to begin with. You need to take this inside and give it to a manager, because someone's going to come looking for it. $20 bills is a lot of money, but it's not like someone dropped a stack of cash or their wallet. Who cares if you take it? Y'all, I had all the thoughts. Plus, I was in a rush. So with all of these options, the question that was blaring in my mind was, what is the right thing to do? What a dilemma. I mean, what would you do in this situation? I know some of you would confidently say, I would take it to the manager. That's the right thing to do. And others of you would say, take the money. It's not a big deal. Finders keepers. Now, sometimes knowing the right thing to do, it just isn't simple in the moment. Ultimately, I decided to take the money to the customer service desk. But at that time, I just didn't know what to do. That's what we're talking about in this series. What to do when you don't know what to do. Now, today, we're going to look at the dilemma of what to do when you don't know what is right and what is wrong. It seems like doing the right thing should be clear and obvious, right? But we all know that isn't always the case. I mean, there's a reason why doing the right thing can be so difficult. Sometimes the right thing isn't obvious. It's like me standing in the parking lot, staring at a $20 bill, wondering if I took it, would it be like receiving a gift from God, or would it be like stealing? I mean, sometimes right or wrong isn't that clear. We see this play out all the time. Like if you're dating somebody, but you're texting somebody else a lot, and you're like, well, I'm not cheating on anyone. We're just texting. It's not wrong, right? Or is it? Or if you have a friend who's doing something that really bothers you and you don't know if you should talk to them about it or not, and you're wondering, if I confront them, am I just going to look like a total jerk? I mean, is this my issue? Is this their issue? Should I just get over it? Now, in both examples, you feel the same thing. The right thing isn't always obvious. And doing the right thing can also be difficult because sometimes the right thing costs us something. When I decided to return the $20 bill to customer service, I knew it would cost me something. For one, time, because I had to go all the way back in the store and have a conversation. But it also cost me the $20 that could have been mine. You know what it feels like when the right thing to do costs you something. Maybe you know the right thing is to be honest with your parents, but if you're honest with them, you're probably going to get grounded. Maybe for the rest of your life. You know the right thing isn't to go to that party, but if you don't go, you're going to miss out. And y'all, the FOMO is real. You know that the right thing isn't to be in that relationship, but if you break up, you're going to be single and alone. And sometimes doing the right thing costs you something. Sometimes the right thing is just no fun. There are moments when doing what's right isn't easy or exciting or even interesting. For example, you know the right thing is to babysit your younger siblings, but honestly, you don't want to do it because they are so annoying. You know the right thing isn't to let somebody cheat off of your test, but if you say no, then somehow you wind up feeling like a loser. You know the right thing is to decline when someone offers you a drink, but it seems like everybody else who's drinking is having fun, and why do you have to be so boring? You see what I mean? Sometimes what's right feels complicated, and even when we do know what's right, sometimes it's difficult to actually do it. So with that in mind, let's pick back up with the story of Joseph. Now, for the past 2 weeks, we have been on a wild journey with a boy who was sold into slavery by his own brothers. Now, even though we may not be able to relate to his specific circumstances, his life story has so much that we can apply to our own lives. What we're going to look at today can be a game changer for all of us. It'll help us to know what to do when we don't know what to do. We left off last week with Joseph sold into slavery. We pick up this week with what happened afterwards. We're told Joseph was given to work in the house of an officer of Pharaoh. Now, Pharaoh was like a king and an emperor and a president all rolled into one. Whatever Pharaoh said, that's what happened, period. So you can imagine how working for one of Pharaoh's important officials was kind of stressful. Depending on the situation, it could go really, really well, or it can go really, really bad. And there was no telling what kind of situation that Joseph was about to walk into. But, like we mentioned last week, the author was quick to point out that God was with Joseph and that Joseph had favor with the official, whose name was Potiphar. That means that Potiphar was a fan of Joseph's. So now let's pick up the story. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Things aren't so bad for Joseph because Potiphar trusts him. And things aren't so bad for Potiphar because with Joseph in charge, he is thriving. And then things take a really weird turn. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." Now this tells us two things. One, apparently Joseph was kind of hot. Two, that his boss's wife noticed how hot he was. Now, this is where things get a little complicated because Joseph was a slave. He was obligated to not only obey Potiphar, but also obey his wife. And if he refused her commands, there was nothing holding her back from punishing him. I mean, it could cost him his status as a slave in their household, which was a much better household than the others, or it could even cost him his life. But if he did what she asked, that would create a whole other set of problems. I mean, she was married to his boss. Both options came with problems. It wasn't easy and it wasn't clear. There was no obvious answer. So what did Joseph do when he didn't know what to do? But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. Basically, out of respect for Potiphar and out of an even bigger respect for God, Joseph simply did the next right thing. He didn't make a decision based on the consequences he might face because of his decision, like losing his job or even his life. He made a decision based on what was right. And what was right was turning down Potiphar's wife. It was complicated, it was challenging, but it was the right thing to do. And the thing is, it wasn't exactly like his life was perfect as a result of making the right choice. In fact, things got worse. I mean, Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of rape. Potiphar believed his wife and had Joseph thrown into prison. It's not exactly the happy ending you're hoping for when you do the right thing, but Joseph didn't make his decision based on what it might mean for him. He did what was right, regardless of the outcome. Now, the outcome for Joseph in the situation wasn't great, but there's a word I want you to know that changes everything when it comes to the whole doing what's right dilemma. And that word is integrity. Maybe you've heard this word before. Integrity means doing what's right, regardless of the outcome. It means choosing what's right, no matter what. Sometimes doing the right thing will get you an applause, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes doing the right thing will cost you something, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes doing the right thing will be empowering, and sometimes it won't. We don't always know how choosing to do the right thing will play out, but having integrity in our decision making leaves room for fewer regrets long term. Chances are we are never going to find ourselves in the kind of situation that Joseph was in. But we will probably all find ourselves at a crossroads at some point where we will have to decide what to do without knowing how it's going to play out. It could go better than we thought. It could go worse than we thought. But when we make our decisions with integrity based off of what is right and not off of what the outcome will be, we are living lives we can be proud of. So here's one thing we can remember. When you don't know what to do the next right thing. So try this. First, think of one situation where you feel stuck at a crossroads. What decision or choice causes you to feel stressed or anxious? So think about that. And then, second, figure out what is the next right thing for you. Here's the deal. We all sit here in church and decide we're going to do the next right thing. And then we leave and find ourselves in the situation to do it, and we don't. And that's because actually doing the next right thing is very often difficult. And because that's true, here are 2 bonus steps to make sure this thing really sticks. Bonus step 1, tell somebody the next right thing you're going to do. And bonus step 2, invite them to ask you this week if you did it. That's how we live lives of integrity, knowing the next right thing and then doing the next right thing and inviting someone else to come alongside us. Doing the next right thing doesn't have to be the sad, lonely venture, so invite someone into your story. There is strength that shows up when you allow someone to show up with you. And there is nothing about Joseph's decision that was easy, and there's nothing about the outcome that was good. But that doesn't mean that every right decision leads to a difficult outcome. And there's just no way of knowing that sometimes. But what we do know is that God is with us no matter how things go. And that makes any outcome so much more bearable. So as you head out, think about a situation where you need to do the next right thing. Think about exactly what you need to do. But just know, you do not have to do this alone. You can tap into the help of God and the help of others. So when you don't know what to do the next right thing.
And we're back, guys. So now we're going to dive in just to a couple of questions, guys. We got 2 questions today that we're going to ask, that we're going to talk through, plus hey Tega, how's it going? Plus a fun question. And we're going to start with the fun question. And I just got to know, okay? I just got to know. What would you guys do if you guys found $1 on the floor? Okay, if you guys found $1 coin on the floor, what will you guys do? All right, I'm looking in the comment section to see exactly what you guys would do in that situation if you found $1 on the floor. Okay, so let me know. Honestly, if I'm being honest, if I was like walking outside, it depends where I find this dollar. Okay, if I find this dollar in a parking lot and it's like an empty parking lot, I'm probably going to take the dollar, to be honest. I'm not going to leave the dollar there. I mean, that's what it is. But if I find like the dollar in a grocery store and there's people around, I'm going to ask them, hey, did you drop your dollar? Is this your dollar? I'll ask that. But if there's nobody around and it doesn't seem like the person whose dollar this belongs to is there, I'm probably going to take the dollar, to be honest. So some of you guys said, Tega said, I'm going to ignore the dollar. Alina said, look around if anyone is looking for the dollar. And then Rebecca's like, yeah. So, I mean, you guys seem to be probably a little bit better than me. All y'all said, I'm not going to take the dollar, or you made it seem like you're not going to take the dollar. But now I got to ask you a heightened version of that question. Now, if you found $100 bill on the ground, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This is for all the marbles right here. If you found $100 on the ground in a parking lot, what will you do? Same thing. Alina said, look around if anyone is looking. So Alina, what if nobody's looking for this $100? What are you going to do then? Rebecca, we're gonna say a parking lot, just a regular parking lot, a grocery store parking lot. What are you going to do? See, for myself, it's a little bit more money. I'm going to be more inclined to find the person who dropped it because that's a lot of money to lose. I'd probably be a little bit bummed out if I lost it. And Alina said, give it to the homeless. That's a really good answer. That's a solid answer right there. Solid answer. And as you guys are throwing the rest of your answers into that, give it to customer service. But then if you do that, like, the corporation's going to keep it. They're going to keep it. I don't know how I feel about that one. But that's a good answer. It's an honest answer. It's a right thing to do. So awesome job. Now I'm going to ask you guys a little bit more of a deeper kind of question, I guess. Now, we're talking about doing the right thing. So my question that I want to ask you guys is what are some things that stop us from doing the right thing? Okay? So what are some things that stop us from doing the right thing? As you guys are throwing your answers in the live chat, I know there's some things that, like, for myself, if I were to answer this question, I think one thing that stops a lot of people and even myself of doing the right thing is I don't want to say second guess, but there's times where, like, you can do the right thing, but there can be multiple doing the right things. If you get what I'm saying, like, there's some situations, there's some circumstances that doing the right thing can mean a multiple number of examples, right? So, like, I find myself sometimes, like, second guessing or, like, just doubling back on, is this the right thing to do? Like, is this the thing that's going to provide the best outcome? And some of you guys threw in, Rebecca said temptation or reputation can stop us from doing the right thing. Yeah, I mean, that's a big one, right? Like, we said $100, but what if it was, and there's like a movie about this, but what if there was a blank check from Walmart that was just on the ground? That's a huge amount of temptation not to take that blank check and write like $1 million or like $50,000. Like, that's a lot of temptation to be like, all right, I'm going to bring this back to Walmart because clearly someone dropped it. So that's a really good answer. Rachel said our peers or friends can stop us from doing the right thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate reality sometimes of peer pressure is they pressure us into not doing the right thing and actually doing the wrong thing. So that's a really, really good answer. I'll wait just a couple more seconds for some of you guys to throw the rest of your answers in the live chat. I know I'm a slow typer, so I gotta give room for everybody, but I'm pretty sure you're not as slow as me. There's like times where I'm like typing like this, where I'm like, but you guys definitely aren't that bad. Not that bad at all. But you guys can still throw your answers into that question in the chat. Now, here's the big question. Here is the why question, the why we talked about what we talked about today. And that is, why should we care about doing the right thing? Okay? That's a big one. Why should we care about doing the right thing? That is our big why. That is our why we're talking about what we're talking about. LOL, O'Shea, that's my 9-year-old sister. I don't know if you call it. Was it like her answer, or are you saying something I did was like your 9-year-old sister? I'm slightly, maybe a little confused, but you'll bring clarity to it. I trust that. But guys, why is doing the right thing so important? And I know I'll give an answer, and I'm going to take this answer from everybody so that this answer doesn't come up with the typing. Oh, you're talking about, yeah. Bummer. I type like a 9-year-old. This is great. But my answer to the why we do the right thing is as simple as this. It's because it's the right thing. And this is what we are called, especially as Christians and Christ followers. this is what we are called to do. We are called to do the right thing. So it boils down, at least for me, to the simplest form. And I'm taking this answer so that nobody can say it. So you guys got to come up with different, unique answers. Is as simple as it's the right thing to do. And that's why we should be doing the right thing. So for you guys, what do you guys feel is why you do the right thing? Throw it in the live chat. Throw it in the live chat. Hands look like wiper blades. You can throw it in the live chat. I mean, if you guys agree with what I said, you guys can also throw in a thumbs up or like a, hey, I agree with that too. Just so I know that you guys are still there, that you guys are still listening, because I'm watching you. I'm always, when we're online, well, I'm not really watching you. I'm watching the words that you type into the live chat. That's a little bit awkward, just a little bit. But as you guys are finishing up typing in, we will pray, and then we'll be able to call that an amazing day. Agreed. Wow. Is there that big of a delay? That's crazy. But guys, that's awesome. Just, it's simply why we do the right thing is because it's the right thing to do. So our bottom line and what we want to leave understanding and knowing today is that when you don't know what to do the next right thing. And we talked about that on Sunday. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're like, man, I have no idea what is happening, what to do, where to go, know and understand that, like how we talked about 2 weeks ago, that God is always with you. Always with you. And let's take it a little bit further, like we're talking about this week. And when we don't know what to do, when we have no idea where to go, what to even think, is to simply to just do the next right thing. And if we continuously do the next right thing, we'll be able to get out of any situation, any problem, anything that comes up against us with the power of God as well, and understanding that he's always with us. And when we continuously do the right thing, we are pleasing him. And I mean, I can't say it enough, but we're doing the right thing. All right, guys, that's all for today. I'm going to pray, and then I will see you guys on Sunday. Whoop, whoop. On Sunday. All right, let's pray. Dear God, I just thank you so much, God, that we're learning more about Joseph and learning more about his story, God. I just pray, Lord, that there's times where we get into situations where problems arise or difficulties come, and there comes a time where, man, we just don't know what to do, that we don't know how to make that next step. And God, if we're in that situation now, or when we get into that situation, or if anybody who's listening right now, Lord, gets into that situation, that we would be able to lean on you and understand that you are always with us, that you haven't left us, and more importantly, or to add on to that we would just do the next right thing. And we're doing that to do the right thing. We're doing that to please you. And let that be our motivation, Lord. Let that be our anchor, Lord, is just whenever we find ourselves in a sticky situation, a tough place, whether it's from our doing or someone else's doing, that we would be able to know and understand that we should just do the next right thing. And we thank you so much. In your name, amen. Amen and amen. Well, guys, it's been awesome to spend this time with you guys. Unfortunately, it's come to an end, but I mean, I will see you guys on Sunday, and you guys will be able to see me on Friday when we drop our Take 5 video. Take 5 video. oh, that looks so cool, but I'm probably not even doing it right at all. But guys, peace out, and I'll see you when I see you.